Sex and politics, the two topics you're never supposed to talk about, but we about to talk about. I am Dr. Sanjaya, America's sex educator, and today we are talking about sex and politics because the presidential election of 2016 is coming right up and it could change the sexual health of our nation.
Use the office of the presidency to crack down on birth control?
Arizona doesn't have a state law protecting gay people.
You want me to walk into a man's bathroom?
If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. But let's assume that maybe that didn't work or something. You know, I think there should be some punishment, but the punishment ought to be on the rapist and not attacking the child.
And if I have to listen to one more gray-faced man with a $2 haircut explain to me what rape is, I'm gonna lose my mind.
So we're about to discuss whether our presidential candidates are sexually fit to serve. What might happen to sexual health policies if they are elected? And you know what? This series not only evaluates the candidates, we have got to look at the sexual fitness of their spouses. And since only one candidate has had 3 spouses so far, it is only fair to examine his newest bride first, Mrs. Melania Trump.
Now you're probably looking at this lovely woman here and thinking, whoa, who's this? Another bangable daughter? Actually, it's my beautiful wife, Melania.
Hello.
She's great, just great.
I grew up in Slovenia.
Which, during World War II, was ruled by Adolf Hitler and the Nazis.
Yes, I know he's pro-immigration because I was in Slovenia and Donald saw a picture of me in a magazine that he called me and said, hey, come to America.
It's very true.
And they say, I can't come, you crazy old man, I don't have green card. And they say, screw green cards, they're for poor people, just get over here.
Actually, 2 of Trump's wives come from areas that were controlled by Nazis. His first wife, Ivana, well, she's from Zlin in the Czech Republic, which was occupied by Nazis before it became a communist territory. So when you understand Hitler's influence on the ancestry of these ladies, you can see how marrying Trump felt like a natural next step. But let's not forget that Trump did marry one American woman, Miss Marla Maples, whom he had an affair with while he was still married to Ivana. And even though they did get married after all of their cheating was exposed, it is no wonder that Trump's marriage to Marla, the only American woman who has ever said I do to that man, well, their marriage, it was significantly shorter than his marriages to women who came from Hitler's old stomping grounds. Speaking of which, let's get back to Melania.
My fellow Americans.
Just 6 years older than Donald Trump's oldest son, Melania was in the 1st grade when Donald Trump's first wife was giving birth. Well, that's if she actually went to school, because several past reports show that Melania never did finish college.
I studied design and architecture.
According to biographers, Melania Trump dropped out her freshman year. The last First Lady to be in the White House without a college degree was back in the late 1970s when Jimmy Carter was president.
Which means she may never have gotten drunk at a frat party, which is tragic in its own right. But for college women everywhere, this means that she likely does not understand how important it is to protect a college woman's right to choose her sexual partners, even if she did get lit last Friday night.
No raping. But Coach, we play football.
A former Vanderbilt football player encouraged his teammates to have sex with an unconscious woman he had been dating.
What if she's drunk and has a slight reputation and no one's going to believe her? Nope.
The attack came after the football player plied the female student with alcohol.
What if she thinks it's rape, but I don't?
Still no.
The former player even passed out the condoms to 3 teammates before she was raped.
The girl said yes to me the other day, but it was about something else.
No.
What if the girl said yes, but then she changes her mind out of nowhere? Like a crazy person.
You gotta stop.
Vandenberg's defense team is using a similar strategy Brock Turner used, which is to blame the alcohol and hookup culture on college campuses.
What if my mom is the DA and won't prosecute? Can I rape?
No, you cannot.
When I heard about the Brock Turner case, I cried.
The Pursuing Justice for Rape Victims Act will never reach the Senate floor.
Like, where does he get off? Like, I want him to look me in the face and other survivors of sexual assault and listen to the fact that we can't sleep at night.
How do I get through to you boys that football isn't about rape? It's about violently dominating anyone that stands between you and what you want. That other team, they ain't just gonna lay down and give it to you. No. But you gotta go out there and take it. Yeah. Now let's get out there. Go rape!
Let's get back to Melania, who, while most girls were going to college, well, she was posing nude with other women, obviously demonstrating her strong support for the LGBT community. And even though she wasn't educated in America, or maybe anywhere, by plagiarizing Michelle Obama's speech recently.
I did not plagiarize my speech last night. I would never do such a thing.
So many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're gonna do.
The values, that you work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
That is because I learned honesty during my humble upbringing. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. Thank you.
Did you see Melania? She stole the show. Literally.
Melania went to great lengths to show that she really admires women who were developing their brains while she was developing her breasts, so she could marry a man who is mentally incapable of seeing women as anything but sexual beings, even his own daughter.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
What's the favorite thing you have in common, Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex.
What was it that you saw in Donald when you met him or fell in love with him?
His mind, amazing mind.
Did you know that sexually frustrated men actually make crazy decisions?
We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting.
I don't want to change him.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of him. It's true. I don't care.
Very smart, very charming.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
And Donald's behavior begs the question, is Melania sexually starving our boy? Maybe this is a tendency of all of Donald's wives, which could explain why he forced himself on his first wife before cheating on her.
There's court records. Ivana Trump accused Donald Trump of rape.
I mean, if she stops having sex with you, what's a man to do?
Is it legal to rape your spouse? Well, according to one of Donald Trump's lawyers, yes. Michael Cohen made the outrageous remark while defending Trump from a decades-old allegation that he once forced himself upon his then-wife, Ivana. Cohen said Trump never raped anybody, insisting that you cannot rape your spouse.
Now let's talk about sexual health policies, because Melania, well, she really has so much to offer in this area. For example, in Alabama, where guns are legal but sex toys are not, it seems that Mrs. Melania Trump, well, she's featured in advertisements marketing her forthcoming line of gun-shaped vibrators. Now these are really special because they allow women to shoot pleasure into their punani. And this is a groundbreaking movement supported by women married to men with tiny hands all over the world.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands?
Ooh, yeah. Melania, on behalf of women all over the world, your sacrifices have been acknowledged.
I love Megyn Kelly. I love her. I think she's great. She's talented and beautiful, but she's a heifer who's always on her period, and I hate her, and I hope she dies.
And us American women, well, we see exactly what you stand for, girl.
He always very supportive to me. Like when I asked to go spa or go shopping, you know, he always say, "That's fine, go."
So what's Melania's overall sexual fitness score? Well, has her past performance prepared her to advance sexual health and rights for women?
Unbelievable. I don't know how women can vote for someone who said what he said about Megyn Kelly. It's terrible.
I don't want to change him.
Real quotes from Donald Trump. You know, it really doesn't matter what they write, as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass.
Donald love women, you know, he always saying, that woman is knockout, that woman is a 10, that woman used to be a 10, but hey, she's still a 7, you know?
I don't want to change him.
I have a feeling that Melania would say something like this. The Donald give me way more freedoms than Hitler. You American women have enough, but still, you want access to sexual health care, the right to choose your sexual partner, control over your own body. Oh, greedy American woman. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm rating Melania's sexual fitness scorecard based on her past performance as a -5. But it's really her values that resonate with modern families everywhere.
I mean, it's totally okay to plagiarize the First Lady, right?
So, to those who say I stole my speech, I say, give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
And who cares if she worked illegally in the United States and then lied about it?
I follow the law. I follow a law the way it's supposed to be. I never thought to stay here without papers. I had visa. I travel every few months back to the country, to Slovenia, to stamp the visa.
The kind of visa where you would have to fly back and get it stamped is not the kind of visa that allows you to work inside the United States. The kind of visa that allows you to work inside the United States is not one where you have to go back and get it stamped. That's strange, but here you were, clearly working inside the United States.
And what's the big deal about lying to an entire nation about your education?
The official program handed out to all the delegates here at the convention details Melania's life story, including the fact that, quote, after obtaining a degree in design and architecture at university in Slovenia, Melania was jetting between photo shoots in Paris and Milan. Trouble is, Melania apparently doesn't have a college degree.
Melania's sexual scorecard for values is a whopping -10. And finally, with regard to being a role model for healthy sexuality among females, Melania sends a powerful message, especially to young women. Drop out of school, pose nude, marry an orange man with really teeny tiny hands who was accused of rape by his previous wife, publicly steal intellectual property, and maybe, just maybe, you will end up as the first lady of the most powerful nation in the free world.
Woman, have you lost your fucking mind?
With regard to role modeling, healthy sexuality, especially among females, Melania tops the bottom of the charts with a -100. I know, it kind of sounds depressing, y'all, but don't be sad, because since we started from the bottom, there is nowhere to go but up. And next week, we'll examine Bill Clinton, a potential first spouse who everybody knows can definitely get it up. Thanks so much for tuning into Politics and Sex. I am Dr. Sanjaya, and I can't wait to see you next time at Sex in South Beach, where everyone comes to talk, listen, and learn about sex.
And today's homework is go to sexinsouthbeach.com, join the VIP list for your daily dose of nookie knowledge. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and link up with me on social media. For better sex tonight, pick up my book at Amazon.com, and you don't want to miss the Sex in South Beach podcast on iTunes and sexinsouthbeach.com, where everyone comes to learn about sex.
all you old male legislators.
When Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius announced in January that insurance plans would be required to cover preventive services for women, including birth control, virtually the whole Republican Party started fighting against access to birth control.
You do know that if you make birth control illegal,
what started out as a simple altercation turns into a real sticky situation.
all of us women, well, we're gonna stop having sex with your old booty.
Cause you don't use no birth control. HIV, pregnancy, and then what's next? Is it really worth it to have sex? No sex allowed. I don't wanna be part of your crowd.
I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear.
Melania, you're fired.